That's plenty. Look at that wand. It hums with inner source.
You made it all this way.
He trembles and seems to shudder with a quiet sob.
I'm cursed, you know. Bloody Brachus bound me here to protect his vault. He has my soul in that jar just there. And I can't leave without it. As long as the jar stays unbroken, I can never truly die. I don't rightly know. This was the Source King's way. Befriend you, then destroy you. I was a fool to expect I'd... His favor was intoxicating. That's no excuse, but it is the reason. Really? You...
He drops to his knees before you and grabs onto your feet with both hands, head hanging.
Thank you.
rests between two fallen columns, emanating. The jar on the plinth before you seems ancient, but is in surprisingly good condition. It's covered in pictograms that you can't. The pictograms spin to life, and you're dragged into a dream. You see them as you roam. The human apes turn away from you, all but one. One smiles, one opens his arms, one says he'll take you home. He promises power for a price. He picks off your golden scales, one by one, stripping you down to the bone. He promised you a crown, but you try to fight, try to reclaim what's yours, but a woman takes you by the hand and leads you to a town. He promised he'd take me home, you cry. You are home, she smiles as she seals your hand drops away from the soul jar, your skin prickling. In the back of your mind, you hear a small, scared voice whimper before fading to nothing.
Good find.
The long-dead lizard's visions fade.
I can't help but sympathize with him. He just wanted...
One can't help but have a bit of sympathy. Who wouldn't want to...
What he did shames his people.
This jar glitters and glows. From within, you think you can make out the distant sound of love. With a jerk, your mind is pulled to a scene in a tavern. You see a dwarf in the center of the room, joking us all around roar with love. The door opens, and a tall, beautiful woman stalks into the room. She's flanked by heavily armed guards. The dwarf mutters a word, and the undead lurch towards the intruder. But a cut as she's dragged away to a tower. You hear her cursing Brachus Rex and his whore. Even when she's thrown inside and the door sealed, you can still hear her shouts. You pull your hand away from the jar, your head swimming. You can feel the dwarf's cold terror still twisting.
Lucky find.
The vision fades.
She must have been acting against Brachus Rex for him to have come for her like that.
Honestly, making the dead do menial work sounds kinder than having the living do it.
Being locked in a tower was more kindness than any necromancer deserved.
The jar before you may have looked opulent once, but no longer. Now it's covered in grime, its paint chipped. The soul jar rocks slightly, light flashing from underneath its lid. On its rim, as soon as you touch the jar's cracked surface, you see a vision of splendor, silks, fine food, and decadent lechery. But underneath it all lies bone and blood. The vision shifts. You see burning villages. A shadow falls across her, and you see a large, weeping face. She reaches out as if to comfort, but Brachus drags her back. As you pull your hand away, you can feel a deep, longing sadness in your soul. Is it regret, or just...
Lucky find.
The terrible vision fades.
Gratiana's life was...
Whatever a person may have done...
However her life
The soul jar pulses with trapped life force. When you touch the glass, your vision wavers. You emerge on the prow of a fine ship. Your armor pulses with enchantment. Dominate. Your flag flies for Brachus Rex, a tyrant who traded for your soul. With his power, your flesh and blood is no. The vision fades as the soul thrashes, trying to sever your connection. To be soulless is a horrible, empty fate. You seek out Brachus's vault, but the moment you reach the soul jar, he ensnares you. Thus imprisoned, you can only dream about what is out of reach. Your soul. And the vision shatters as the soul squirms away from you, curling up in the bottom of the jar. The soul jar pulses with trapped life force.
Nice.
The soul jar stands on its plinth, glowing softly. From within, you can almost hear. You see, or rather, you feel, a far-off land. Frozen breath hangs in the air, pine needles brush your cheeks, and in your arms, your vision swims. You're older, but perhaps not wiser. You march at the head of a shambling host. The scene twists again. Now Brachus stands before you, a beautiful woman at his side. You lash out in treasonous rage, but cold arms bind you. You're sealed away in a tower. Your screams fill the dark. You feel a jolt and open your eyes to see the soul jar.
Nice.
The necromancer's memories fade to black, but the feelings remain.
They may have been a necromancer, but they did not feel evil.
No one deserves the fear and pain I felt in that.
One must wonder how many more lives they took.
Nice.
The deity's head and hands are missing, severed as if by a sword. As you take in its chiseled details, you have a vision. The statue comes to life and embraces you awkwardly with its broken arms. Unable to resist, you're flown away into an endless dark.
That shrine seems to have brought me here. What is this place?
The ethereal figure before you raises the visor of his highly polished helm. Beneath it, his handsome face is weary, yet his eyes...
You pray not at my shrines. Can't say I'm surprised. You, my most wayward cub.
He spits over his shoulder, folding thick arms across his steel-bound chest.
You don't recall me, do you? I am Ralik, prime among the seven, and father of all humans. Father of you. I preferred you as a child, pious and devout, remember? I called you to follow me, and so you did.
Ralik gazes at your upright form, a contemptuous frown creasing his face.
Look at you now. My child, a killer for hire. You can't hide. I see the dead who whisper your name as they pass the threshold of the halls of echoes. And who's to blame? I hold anger towards the divine myself. I could tell you stories about Lucian that would turn your muzzle white, little wolf. Yet you choose to follow him. Lucian didn't make you into a mercenary, but nor did Lucian make you refuse to kill that elf in Fort Joy. Oh yes, I know about that. You're a paradox, Ifan. And who's responsible?
He stares deeply into your eyes. As you gaze into his deep green eyes, you feel your whole consciousness following. You notice every shade of stone within, from iridescent emerald to flecks of grey. The verdant pools encompass you. There is nothing else, nothing but Ralik's eyes. Suddenly, a vision coalesces. You see yourself, the bright and zealous crusader you once were. You are breathless, scouting through deep forest. You are racing with... You make it to civilization. Too late. An explosion devastates the beating heart of the elven city. Ancestor trees thud to earth, strong trunks crack even louder than the horrified. Gasping on the fumes, you are dragged to safety by a wolf who appears out of nowhere. He pulls you free, clawing an elven woman who gets in your way. She collapses, wheezing under the... She clutches your ankle with her hand, gripped tight as of ice. As you reach down to help, her hand falls away, lifeless. Through the haze, the death fog, you see her dead eyes, black. Through her lifeless eyes you fall. You see them, Legion. The thousands slain that day, those you were too late to save. The hundreds slain by... You see the motherless children left behind. The scarred slaves sold to the highest bidder. Choices you made, contracts you took. The army of the lost gaze at you silently, their loathing and reproach palpable. Encased in pitch black of deadest night, you know not which way is up and which way down. Vertigo spins your senses as you see the consequences of each choice you made. One damning choice after another. The guilt you tried to escape from lies here, bare, throbbing. It was waiting for you here all along, in this filthy chamber at the base of your rotten heart. Your pain pulses, ebbs and flows, undamned. You widen your eyes, striving to see further, but a stinging slap drags you back to reality. Ralik stands before you, gimlet eyes hard now. He slaps you again, harder.
Pity won't bring them back. Nothing can bring them back. But you can yet come back yourself. Long ago, you turned your face away from all that is light. Turned back to me, and you could yet save others. Could save all.
Ralik slaps you again, full force. He stares into your eyes with challenge.
That's what I'm looking for. That crusader courage. The courage to stand up.
Ralik punches you full in the face. you feel a familiar sensation as the delicate bones of your oft-broken nose give way. He catches your arm in one vice-like fist and dangles you above the ground. He laughs and shakes you like a rag doll. You feel rage surge within you, barely containable. Feel it electrifying the blood in your veins, pumping through you. You feel like yourself. Rallick smirks and releases you.
That's it, Ben Mesd! That fierce spark of zeal is why I chose you, why I saved you from that sinking ship. You tried to hide it behind apathy, but the light shines through. Embrace who you really are. Why did you become a crusader in the first place? You heard my call, not Lucian's. So fight for me! I need you. The Seven didn't abandon Rivlon. We are trapped here, powerless and squabbling. You, ruthless son of humanity, you will be my champion in the world. You are my God-woken. Don't let that spark become a flame that devours you. I chose you for your wildness, yet I can leash you if needed. I will grant you my blessing, fierce wolf. It will aid you on the path out of this place. And then, we will...
Rallick steps towards you, solemn of face and bearing. He raises his right hand and presses it upon your heart. A surge of warmth and well-being...
You may have noticed I've tried to help you on your journey. I blessed the water beneath your feet, so that it would aid you. Now, you have the power for yourself. And this is only the beginning. More and greater powers await you, if only you will seek them. Now go, God-woken. Go with my blessing. Let it remind you always of who you are. My crusader. In time, I will ask more of you. But now, your goal is simple. Survive. Escape the grasp of those who would imprison you, who would break you, my child. You, and you alone, must rise above the reach of... But before you lope away, let me ask. You are traveling with company, yes? Be aware. They are not your friends. They are your rivals. They are God-woken too. But you are the one who will be a god, none other. Keep your claws sharp and see everything from two sides. Take the wolf that saved you, that follows you so dutifully. Watch him. The wildest animals often turn and bite the hand that feeds them. Oh, and Losa. That pretty little one you think of at night. Kill her now. And until we meet again.
much as we've returned. Every second we spent in that hellish place was a second the great acorn drew closer. Interesting. You thought it was interesting, Quercus? Do you know what's interesting? Watching an entire world be strangled by the roots of doom. Seeing the giant races fall like leaves in frost. Hearing the screams of... I don't know what you're talking about. I am perfectly calm. Anyway, as interesting as that cold hellscape might have been, it does not solve our problem. We are here to stop the great acorn, not hide from it.
It's already helping more than it knows, Quercus. The fate of the world depends on our ability to research a spell to... We need to travel across the land, gathering clues, experimenting with different magics, and come up with a spell to shield Rivellon from its... Of course, for us to do that, we must avoid being eaten by the servants of the Great Acorn. And that is where our big, foolhardy shield comes in.
The shield thinks saving its world isn't something it should be grateful for, Quercus. How can something... No! I am not going to share our magic with it. I don't care how much... Very well, I cannot give it magic, but I can teach it how to forge one spell, if it will keep you happy.
The squirrel reaches out, touching your foot with a delicate paw, and you feel your mind open. You can see the forces... There, maybe now your pet will have a fighting chance. Yes, you're welcome, but can't...
I must say, I was hoping to enjoy a smug advantage over everyone. Lacking skill, however, they are...